Hi guys, welcome back to another video, or your first video here, I don't know. Welcome if you're new here, welcome either way. This is the second time at least starting filming this video because I stupidly did not hit record on the camera. So this is going to be my January 2022 book unhaul. I'm unhauling 26 books, I believe, so let's just get into them. Now, most of these are going to be comics from my already read and unread collection here, but I do have one book and I'll go through that first, and that is Absolute Hell by Rodney Ackland. Now, I don't think this is a bad book, and it's a play. I don't think it's a bad play, and I would be interested in seeing this. However, I think just with the reading experience alone, and without having a reference of having seen it already, I don't think I fully have a grasp of the tone that this is supposed to be, and I think I am misunderstanding certain characterizations, and I think this would be probably one I come back to once I've already seen the play. I think that this, in its time, would have been a very controversial play to put on, given that one of the main characters is a gay man, and I think that this painted a really interesting picture of post-war Britain, but I'd be interested in rereading this in the future. I just don't think it's a book for now, so I'll be passing this on. Next, I have quite a big graphic novel. The rest of these are going to be comics. So this is Alice in the Country of Hearts. This is one of these big bind-up ones, and I remember nothing about this. I think this is going to be a common theme throughout a lot of this. I just went through my shelves and got rid of a bunch, and yeah, I most likely pick this up because it's a Alice in Wonderland retelling, but with slightly darker themes. I have never made any move to reread this. It hasn't stuck in my mind particularly, and I've never made any move to pick up any of the sequels, so this will be leaving my collection. Next, I have 3 volumes of Please Save My Earth. I have Volume 1, Volume 20 and Volume 21. So I will have picked up Volume 20 and 21 because I saw them in a charity shop for cheap. Graphic novels are often the same amount of money, if not more, than regular books, and take me about maybe 30 minutes at most to read. So I like to try out series from charity shops before I fully invest in buying the rest of the series. I read this first one and did enjoy it enough to think, okay, I'll continue, but reflecting on it now, I really enjoyed the sort of environmental commentary of this, and I liked the fantasy twist on that. However, I really didn't enjoy people's sort of entitlement to, especially the main character, I feel like. I think that in her real life she's an incredibly meek person, and quite a lot of the characters I feel took advantage of that and sort of felt entitled to her and her affections, and I really didn't enjoy that, and I don't see it playing out to a satisfactory way throughout the series. But also, I'm definitely not going to go through at least 20 of these to find out, so these are leaving my shelves. Next, I have number 6, Volume 1 and Volume 2. I did really enjoy this, and I think that it's a good series, but again, I've made no moves to pick up any of the sequels. I'm quite happy with what I know of the story, and I already know how it ends. I've seen spoilers from it when I was in the Anime Society at uni, so I kind of already know how this is going to wrap up. I think it's a really interesting exploration of a dystopian world where people are highly controlled, and you have sort of 2 sides of a wall and the opinions of the people on other sides of that wall. But if you're looking for that, this I think is a good series. I'm just not bothered to finish it, so these are leaving. Next, I have quite a number of books from the Vampire Knight series. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 and 9, and that break is where I had a problem. So I really enjoyed, I'll just hold up the one. So this is volume 1. I really enjoyed going through this series. I liked the darker tones. I liked the take on the vampire story. I was reading this when I was very into vampires in novels, and that's why this appealed to me. But I think that looking back on it, the love triangle I think would really bother me, and I'm just not interested in carrying on. What I would do when I was picking up this series is that I'd go into Waterstones every couple of weeks and I'd buy a new volume. And after volume 5, I completely forgot what volume I was on and I didn't want to re-buy volumes, so I just guessed 8. And then, because I couldn't read past that, I was like, well, I'll pick up 6 at some point. Never got around to doing it, and I haven't picked these up since then. I know that this series is quite long at this point and I'm just not bothered to finish it. I think that someone is going to really enjoy these, so I'm going to pass these on. I had a very similar experience with this series. I have the Are You Alice series, volumes 1, 2, 3 and 5. I found this really interesting. Again, it's a darker take on the Alice in Wonderland story, this time with a male Alice, which I thought was an interesting version of that. However, I did find the style a little bit busy at points. Sometimes I couldn't really tell what exactly was going on, but I do like the art style. But again, I was picking up a volume every now and again at Waterstones. I forgot which volume I was on, and instead of buying number 4, I bought number 5. Thought, I'll buy number 4 eventually. I haven't in the years it's been since I first read this series, so I'm hauling these. This next comic, I remember so little about that I put it on my to-read shelf. But I clearly marked it as read on Goodreads and I gave it a rating, so I've clearly read it already. And this is a spin-off comic from the Fairy Tale series. I have to hurry up now because my camera is flashing at me saying that it's running out of battery. But I enjoyed this at the time, but clearly I remember absolutely nothing about it, so I will be passing this on to someone who's going to enjoy it more. Next, I have volumes 1 and volumes 3 of 07 Ghost. I really enjoyed these when I read it, but I think looking back, again, some things are going to really bother me. I really enjoyed the darker tone of this series, and I did originally own volume 2, but I left it in a friend's car and never got it back. And I've never made a move to carry on with the series. I've never made a move to get that other volume back. And I think if I was to start from the beginning and reread it, the things that did bother me about, or didn't bother me originally about the series, I think would bother me now. So these are getting passed along as well. Next, I have volume 1, volume 4 and volume 12 of Spiral, The Bonds of Reasoning. And I read volume 1 and remember absolutely nothing about it, so it clearly wasn't the sort of thing that would stick in my mind. I think it was detective based, but I think it was just super generic, so I'm not going to continue passing these along. And you know what, flicking through these two, I think we're going to end up keeping them. I have Bloody Cross volumes 1 and volumes 2, and yeah, I really liked the dark tone of these, and I do remember quite a bit about the story. I'm still interested to see what happened, so may get rid of these another time after I've read a few more volumes, but for now, I think these are going to stay on my shelves. And there you have it. Those are all the books that I am getting rid of in the month of January. And I shall see you in my next video. Bye.